Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. I know this is a hot topic, it would be fair to say, because I know that many people need to know a huge amount about it. We're hopefully, basically, we're going to pull together everything we've done over the last, 2 years talking about Brexit and tell you where we're up to as of today. It's something we need to make sure that everyone's fully aware of. We have been running Brexit webinars for over 2 years now. So I've probably run more webinars on Brexit than any other topic. So I don't know if that's good or bad. If this is the first time you've joined us, where have you been for all of the others? But nonetheless, I'm glad you've managed to join us now. So let's crack on. My name's Andy Hooper. I'm the presenter for today. I'm the CEO here at Global E-Commerce Experts. There are a couple of chat room options. So some of you have already found the chatting option. So that's great. If you want to chat to me, chat direct, you can chat to everyone or you can chat direct. Sorry, absolutely fine. We've also got the GEE Expanders Facebook group. So you can do that there. And this is part of our webinar series. We run a webinar every Wednesday where you can help get top insights about your global expansion into Europe. So we are here to successfully expand sellers into the EU, which will soon become to successfully expand sellers into the UK and EU, I suspect. So without much further ado, let's talk about what we're going to discuss. So, the first thing to say is we're going to discuss Brexit. All right, that's what we're going to discuss. And what we're going to talk about is all the implications of that for you as an e-commerce seller coming through into the EU. And there's a whole load of things we need to cover. We've got VAT and EORI, we've got warehousing, we've got EFN and Pan-EU, what that means, cross-border selling, customs clearances, removal orders, payment gateways, brand registry. There's two others that aren't on there that we've added last minute, which is label compliance and responsible person. Now, I'm going to try and keep this to 30 minutes. I may even try and keep it to 20 minutes if I can, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and give you the headline figures and the headline information. Headline, bosh, 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 bosh. Now, there's an absolute ton of information here. We have covered all of this on previous webinars. This is like the overview of overviews. And this is what we're going to cover. All right. So let's get on to Brexit and what that actually means. So let's go right back to the beginning, because on the 23rd of June, 2006, 4 years ago, I can't remember what I was doing last week, let alone 4 years ago. But this is how long this process has been going on. But let's fast track some of that, because hopefully a lot of you already know that and have heard me say this in the past. But on the 31st of January this year, the UK officially left Europe. We've had a transition period between the 31st of January and the 31st of December this year. What that means is on the 1st of January, we are no longer a part of Europe. Okay, so Brexit will have happened. Now, there's some irony in that the transition period ends on the 31st of December. Now, I suspect like I, the irony is that we have a transition period. A transition period would mean the deal is done and we're just transitioning through to make sure everything works. I'm afraid that hasn't quite happened like that for whatever reason. And I don't know what those reasons are, because I'm not a government and the government essentially does what they think is right at the time. We can all probably sympathize with that. However, what happened was on the 31st of January, we agreed to leave with the sort of ballpark of a deal. And for the last 11 months, the government has been working through that deal and getting a deal in place. Now, there's been several deadlines to making sure that deal was in place, and all of those deadlines have been missed. Now, as it stands today, there are two options. To be fair, these are probably the two options I was talking about in 2017, 18, 19, and 20. However, these are the two very real deals, two real options. There is a deal and there is no deal. So if we do not get a deal And the UK government, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and the European Parliament as a collective have all said this is the most likely outcome as we stand today, as there's not enough time to get everything done. But we deal with politicians, and deadlines for politicians, there's no such thing. The deadline is the 31st of December. That is the deadline. And in all honesty, I truly believe there'll be a deal. I just do. I'm an I'm an optimist, so you have to bear that in mind. You know, the government and the European government are saying it is very real that there will be no deal. If there is no deal, what will happen is we, the UK, will trade with Europe on World Trade Organization terms. Basically, what that means is that there'll be no rules in place, and we revert to World Trade Organization terms. So with a no deal, we know today what we're going to get. It will mean that anything coming from the UK into Europe will require customs. It will require VAT, import VAT. It will require import duties. You'll require a visa. So if I was to travel to Europe, I will require a visa to travel. And there are lots of many other things, but they're sort of the ones that you'll understand. As sellers who already sell cross-border, if you're selling from the States into Europe as it stands, you'll be used to dealing with import duty and import customs and import VAT. You're used to dealing with that. All that'll happen, and you'll need a visa as well. Like all these things you're used to. All it'll mean is that from the UK going into Europe, we'll need them as well. So that's the sort of process. That's World Trade Organization terms. Okay, basically, when there's no deal, that's what we revert back to. So ironically, with no deal, we know where we stand today. All right. And I think that's really important to say, is that we understand where we are today with no deal. If we were to get a deal, then what that'll mean is that we'll have a deal between us and Europe. I have no idea, in all honesty, what that deal would be physically. Now, I know what I think it might be. It might be that we'll have the free movement of goods. So there'll be no VAT, import VAT and import duty. There'll probably be the free movement of people. So people could move backwards and forwards, most likely. And there are probably 1,000,001 other things in there that I'm not party to that it would include. But given it's the 16th of December, the UK pretty much shuts down. If we look at the calendar for the next till the 31st of December, next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are normal working days. Thursday is Christmas Eve. Most of the UK shuts down for that. Friday, Christmas Day. Most of the UK shuts down for that. The following week, the Monday is a bank holiday because Boxing Day is on a Saturday. Therefore, we have a bank holiday on on Monday, the 28th. So that realistically leaves, we're Wednesday today. We've got Thursday, Friday. We've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we've got 5 days between now and next weekend. When we get to the following week, the 28th, we've got the 29th and 30th, and the 31st is New Year's Eve, most people. So we've got 7 days in real terms to make something happen. Obviously, we've got a couple of weekends in there, but this weekend, I would count, there's another 2 days, that's 9 days. But next weekend, I mean, is Christmas. No one's going to do anything. So I think that the very real deal is that we have to prepare ourselves for no deal. This is what we've been talking about for the last 4 to 5 months, that this is a very real prospect and you should mitigate for those circumstances. So what I'm going to go through now is a few things that you need to be aware of and you need to make sure you've mitigated against. Now, obviously, we are here to successfully expand you into the UK and the European Union. We've been doing this for many years. We know exactly what we're doing, and everything that we're going to talk about, we can solve for you. Okay. So all of the things that we're going to talk about, everything we can do, we can solve, and we've got you. Okay. As a valued client or potential client, we have got you absolutely 100% covered and can look after you with everything to do with making this happen smooth, simple, and straightforward. All right. So that's the first thing to say. I'm going to be honest and say that on the 1st of January, if we have a deal, the book is going to be so thick. I mean, I have no idea. How many rules are there between the US and the UK, the US and China, China and the UK, Europe and the UK already? How big is that rule book? Well, come the 1st of January, there's going to be a new rule book if we have a deal, and we're going to have to know that. So my New Year's Eve looks really exciting, doesn't it? But apart from that, the good news is the New Year's Day here in the UK is a bank holiday. So the 1st of January, we won't be at work. There's a Saturday and Sunday in there, the 2nd and 3rd. So the good news is I've got 3 days to read a book, learn it, digest it, and make sure I understand it for you on the Monday morning. All right, which we will do. We'll have you covered. We'll have you sorted. But what I do want to say is that it will be new for the whole of Europe. Okay. And whilst we will have you covered and we will at all times have your best interest at heart, there is likely to be hold-ups. There's likely to be delays, and there will be mistakes by us or by other people. I have no idea what they may look like. Obviously, we plan to do none. We don't plan to make any mistakes. Neither do any of our partners. Neither does the European. Neither does customs. Neither does the freight forwarders. No one does. All right. But we have to be very real with ourselves that we are 7 working days away from a completely new law for everybody. And we have to be honest with ourselves and say, like, we're going to do the best we can. And I can assure you, we've got you covered. I have a team of much more intelligent people than me out there that are looking after your best interests. So don't worry about it. We've got you covered. But let's start going through what some of this information looks like, shall we? Because I know you're keen to hear it. I know you want to know what that looks like. So the first thing I'm going to cover is VAT. Now, the first thing to say with VAT is that you need to be VAT registered from the 1st of January. If you want to sell in the UK and Europe, you need to be VAT registered in the UK and Europe. That's it. You'll also need an EORI number, a European shipping number to you and I, in both the UK and Europe. Okay. Now, we've been banging this drum for the last 18 months. Okay. So if you are listening to this today and you're like, geez, I need a VAT number in Europe, then, the ship has sailed. I'm a big sailor, by the way. So now there are some ways around it. Don't worry, because we've got you covered. I told you that. So ideally, the ideal route is Germany. Germany and the UK account for 2/3 of all sales on e-commerce in Europe. All right. So you want to be registered in the UK and Europe, like without a shadow of a doubt. Problem is with Germany is it takes 4 to 6 months. So that's not going to happen by the 1st of January. All right. And, that is not a great way of doing business. If I say to you, you need to be VAT registered in Europe and you haven't done that yet, I totally get this whole Brexit thing is totally confusing. This whole COVID thing has just smashed this way out the way. And, we've all been in our own little worlds this year doing our thing. And it's absolutely understandable if you're now at this point and you're like, damn, I missed this. What do I need to do? So I think that's really important to understand that you must have a VAT number in the UK and Europe. All right. Now, the good news is if you want it done and you haven't got that done, is Italy can be done in 1 day. Okay. You've got 7 days left. All right. So you don't have many days to get us the form. Well, apply, get us the form, make sure the paperwork's correct, apply and get the VAT number. All right. We can do it in a day, but we got to get on it. All right. So Italy's a day, Netherlands is 30 days. All of the others you know, I mean, I appreciate Netherlands is not in the Pan EU program, but there's a specific reason we discussed that and mentioned that. So that's where we are. You got to have a VAT and a UK and EU or your number. Now, I tell you what we could do. Let's try and make this a little bit interactive where we can. Let's just put in the message box, in the chat box, just say, yes, I've got a UK and EU VAT number. Let's at least get a couple of those. Let's get a couple of people. Let's get to that chat box and let's start writing some yeses. I'm not going to move slides, by the way, until someone's put some yes. Excellent. Carlos, thank you. Make me happy. Excellent. Great news. I only have a VAT number waiting on UK. Again, that's great news. Okay, you're waiting on the UK. You've got that covered. All right. UK is going to take a little bit, but you're going to get there. Okay, you've got that covered. All right. Waiting on UK and GE. Let's say take that as DE for Germany. I'm just checking my Germany. I'm guessing that I have UK VAT. Need to get one applying for Italy today. Okay, so you need to get those sorted. All right. There's no. If you've not done that, you need to do that today. Right. So at the end of this, I'm going to give you a details, and you need to just get on that. Okay, so you're going to have to do that without a shadow of doubt. Okay, great. Thank you very much, everyone. I think that's great. Let's just keep on putting those in there, and we need to make that happen. So let's good. At the end of this, as I say, I'm going to give you the details where you need to go, and we can just start getting the Italy. It's been a long week, right? So we get Italy covered for you. That's the best way of going. So let's go. Any questions? I'll go through the questions, but we get the questions at the end and we'll go through those. So that's the VAT sorted. So the first thing is you need VAT. You need VAT in the UK. You need it in Europe. You need an EORI number in the UK and Europe. They go hand in hand. So that's sorted. All right. VAT done. Warehousing. There's several sides to this, in all fairness. Now, if you ship all your goods currently to the UK, now many of you will do this in different ways. All right. So you could be talking to us from Europe, UK, America. There are lots of different options where you may be listening to us from. And I think what I'm just going to try and do is digest some of this. If you currently ship your goods from outside the EU just into the UK, all right, what's going to happen now is, let's say you send that direct to FBA in the UK. Absolutely fine. No problems at all. Obviously, I'd love you to use our warehouse, little plug. But you can send that direct to FBA, and that's absolutely fine. Perfect. So if you're shipping from outside Europe, you can do that. What I would now suggest you do is you basically now split that. So you'll send some stock to UK and some stock to another European country. It has to be the European country you're VAT registered in. All right. You can't just send it to any old country. There are some ways around that. And, if you use our Netherlands warehouse and you're just storing it there, you haven't fulfilled it yet, you could get away with that. All right. So if you haven't got stock already, we'll come to that. That's another option. So there's a few things here. You may need to have so I'm just letting more people in. You may need to have warehousing in UK and Europe. All right. So you need to consider that, and you need to consider what those options are, because you're going to need warehousing in those countries. You're just going to need it. Even if it's just for returns, you're going to need a return address where you can get your returns and your Amazon removal orders, which we're going to come on to shortly. So the good news is, obviously, we can cover you for warehousing. We've got that sorted. We've got the UK and Netherlands warehouses up, running, sorted. German warehouse, let's just say that resolving the German warehouse was about 3 million times more difficult than I thought it ever could be. Open, honest, frank sentiment. So the thing to know is that that's going to be covered very, very shortly. We'll have a warehouse in Germany. We'll also have France, Italy, and Spain as well very, very shortly. But nonetheless, so you're going to need a European warehouse. Okay, so that's sorted. Now, the thing to say is, from a warehousing point of view, if you've got everything in the UK and you want to ship that to Europe, okay, what's going to happen is you on the 1st of January, you will have to, one, potentially, if we're on World Trade Organization terms, which we will be or could be, you will have to pay import duty and import VAT. All right. That's you're going to have to do that. So if you've not got stock in Europe yet, you need stock in Europe now, right? If you've not removed stuff out of UK today to get it in Europe, I mean, I was on the ferry on Monday night going to the Netherlands and Tuesday night on the Netherlands coming back. I call it my 2-night cruise to Amsterdam. Anyway, no fun was had, I'd like to say. I was purely in the warehouse. But I mean, the ferries were rammed. I mean, I've been going backwards and forwards to the Netherlands for the last 3 months on the ferry. And at no point has that ferry been full of trucks. I mean, I'm telling you, it was absolutely rammed. Dover, which is the main route from the UK into Europe, the main ferry route. I mean, there's queues and queues and queues trying to get lorries onto ferries. It's just rammed. All right. So it's a very real prospect. You need stock in Europe, and you need to make that happen. I'm going to come on to all of the questions at the end, if that's okay, because I keep looking at the questions and getting distracted. So I'm just going to move them over just so I don't get distracted. So I apologize. So you basically need a European warehouse and a UK warehouse if you're not shipping direct to FBA. If you are shipping direct to FBA in those 2 countries, you're probably still going to need a warehouse because of the next slide. Oh, no, not this one. I'll come on to that one. So the European Fulfillment Network. Hopefully, many of you will know what I mean by the European Fulfillment Network and the Pan-European Network. What that basically meant was the European Fulfillment Network. What happens is that you put your product on one marketplace and yeah, let's say you could from the UK, and then people from Germany could buy it and you could ship that to Germany. All right. That's how that worked. Pan EU, you could ship all your products to the UK, chuck them into a UK warehouse. They would distribute them around Europe, including the UK. Perfect. As of the 1st of January, the UK is no longer going to be in Europe. So the UK won't be part of the European Fulfillment Network or the Pan EU program. All right. That's it. So that's going to split. So if you want to be on, selling UK and Europe, you're going to send stock to the UK and you're going to have to send stock to a European fulfillment facility. Pan EU and the European Fulfillment Network will still work. Will still work in Europe because the European Fulfillment Network and the Pan-European Network is obviously Europe. So that's still going to work. So a few questions have come in. Well, that's not going to work anymore. No, it's definitely going to work. But it won't work for the UK because the UK won't be part of that network. All right. So that's where that is. What that means is that, from UK point of view, if you buy something on the UK website, marketplace, they're not going to ship it. In fact, I got an email about that today, basically saying it will incur additional costs. I hope you won't mind. I'm just going to pull the email up because, as I said, I have literally got back from the Netherlands today. I got back in on the ferry at 7 this morning. So this is Germany. Okay. So I've bought something from a German marketplace for one of our clients, actually, to test something. So, hello. As you have placed an order on Amazon.de and selected a UK delivery address in the past, we wanted to let you know that from the 1st of January, when the Brexit transition period ends, you'll see some changes when you shop on Amazon.de and select a UK delivery address. These changes could include VAT being due in the country of delivery, or your package may be subject to customs duties, taxes, and fees, which they will be. The collection of VAT or an estimation of import fees, which may result in a price change at checkout. So basically what Amazon is saying, that you'll still be able to buy that in the UK from Germany, but they're going to estimate the fees on their end, which I would, whenever Amazon estimates fees, they increase the price. They don't make that easy. Most people aren't going to buy that product. All right. You're not going to buy that product not knowing what the price is. We will continue to accept eligible returns if the reason for return is the result of an error. Any costs incurred for the return will be paid by Amazon. Otherwise, any costs incurred for the return will be payable by the person returning the goods. So really, you're not going to be doing that. No one from the UK is going to buy on those websites, and no one from Germany or other parts of Europe are going to buy from UK. All right. You just got to expect that not to happen. Okay. So that's the Pan-EU and the European Fulfillment Network. Okay. Cross-border selling. Okay. This comes to that. So cross-border selling is where, basically you buy something in Germany, it comes to the UK, cross-border. Now, cross-border selling in the European network has stopped on the European marketplace. All right. Absolutely categorically stopped. So previously, there was just no benefit of Prime delivery. So you're not going to be able to do that. It's just not going to work. So that's not going to be part of that. You're going to need to be VAT registered, as we've already said. So that cross-border selling from the UK is gone. That's no longer there. You will be able to do that from Germany, Netherlands, and other places as well. All right. So that's cross-border. Now, removal orders. Now, before, what you could do is you could remove an order from Germany and get that sent to our warehouse in the UK. Our understanding that from the 14th of November, you wouldn't be able to do that any longer, which is totally correct. You cannot send it from Germany into the UK. But what Amazon is saying right now, today, is that if you do a removal order because you've got unfillable inventory from Germany, it has to go to a German warehouse, from France to a French warehouse, from Italy to Italian warehouse, and so on. So all of those, that cross-border has stopped in Europe. Now, what we don't know is whether that's going to continue. Our guess is that that would open again in February, March time, when it's all calmed down. All right. You'll be able to do it, not to the UK, but you'll be able to do it from Germany into the Netherlands, from France into Netherlands, from Italy to the Netherlands, from France to Germany, or whatever. All right. You would, our best guess is you'll be able to do that. That's no guarantee. All right. So as it looks today, you need a warehouse in every single European country. I mean, that's like a logistical nightmare for most people, isn't it? So our suggestion as of today is, if you get unfillable inventory you want to remove, is don't remove it. If it's just unfillable inventory, you can store that there until it becomes your long-term storage fees. All right. Now, for most of you, you'll probably be fine until February time. So in February, in January, hopefully we're going to get an answer to that. And in February, you'll be able to just pull it out and send it to Netherlands or Germany or wherever. My piece to you is that we will have warehouses in all of those countries by the end of Q1 into Q2. How big those facilities are, how much capacity we have in those facilities is unknown, but we will have that resolved by Q2. I've got a little European road trip to go on, which I'm really excited about, especially in winter. I mean, you really want to go in the summer, don't you? But anyway, we digress. So that's where we are with removal orders. Basically, with removal orders, don't panic. Just hold on to the unfillable inventory unless you have to remove it. If you say to me, Andy, we've got to remove it, we've got no option, call us. We've got some solutions. They're not perfect. We have some solutions, but we can go from there. But my plea is, if you can try and keep it there for January, then that's what you need to do. Okay. All right. So that's removal orders as we speak at the moment. Customs clearances. Now, this is a hot topic. Apologies, I need that. Sorry. It's water, I promise. So from the 1st of January, customs clearances. You're going to need customs coming into the UK, which you already do, and going into Europe, which you by default do. If you're sending stock to the UK and Europe, you're going to need to have You need to do custom clearance in both of them. Even if there's a deal, okay, even if there's a deal, you will still have to do a customs declaration between the UK and Europe because the products are leaving one jurisdiction to another. And this is a big, oh no. So even if we get a deal, we're no longer part of Europe. So we will have to do the customs declarations. So you're going to need someone to do the customs declarations for you. The good news is that we have opened our own customs clearance department with experienced customs agents who will be able to work with you and talk you through that. Now, clearly, we've been doing customs declarations for a long time for products leaving Europe. So we've already been doing that. So there's no problem there. Sorry. Oh, my gosh. My computer's gone all funny. Great. I have no idea. My mouse has gone. This happened to me the other day. My mouse has gone. So if one of my team are listening, please can you let the people that are in are waiting? That would be amazing. Anyway, apologies. So customs clearances. So here's customs clearances, what we need to do. Because as I say, when they leave the UK, they go to Europe, bosh. Like you're going to need to do the customs clearance. So we got you covered. We've been doing it for many years. We've got a team that have been doing it for going to the rest of the world. But now we've got the position where we're going to have to do that. All right. We're going to have to do that from UK to Europe. So from 1st of January, anything that leaves the UK going to Europe is going to need a customs declaration. And that's going to incur additional charges without any shadow of a doubt. Like we will minimize all of the charges as we possibly can without any shadow of a doubt. If we can do the customs charges at zero cost, we will be doing them at zero cost the best way we can. All right. We need to do what we can to keep that as cost effective for you as possible. What those charges look like at the moment, until we know what the deal is, we don't know. All right. But the key thing is that we've got it. We've got you covered and we can handle it and we can make that happen. Okay, we do have an issue here, ladies and gentlemen. That issue is that I can't move slide. Oh, it's all right. I've got my mouse back. Hooray! There we go. I was panicking because I couldn't move slides. It's okay. We can move slides now. So customs declarations, we're going to need to do. We got you covered. We will see how deep, how difficult they are, and we're going to make that as cost effective and as easy as we possibly can for you, right? We've got you coming in. You're going to have to do customs declarations coming in anyway, and we'll need to do them going out. Obviously, with the customs clearances, if you need shipping as part of that, we've got you covered. We can look after you. We can help you, all right? So it is all covered. So payment gateways. Next thing, most of you have this covered. You're going to need some way of taking payment out of Europe. Most of you have this. We got some great partners with OFX, Payoneer, and a couple of others. I don't really need to labor on about that, but that's the key thing. Brand registry. Oh, okay. So here's a key one. If you have your brand registered in Europe, your European brand registration probably won't work in the UK. So if you are a brand registered brand, then what's going to happen is you're going to need to make sure you've got a UK based registration. All right. Now we understand that there will be a transition of this piece and you will have that, but we're going to bring in an expert to talk specifically about this piece at the beginning of January. We can't get them on beforehand because if you've already got an EU brand registered, we understand that what's going to happen is you will get a grandfather rights where that will just split into the UK. All right. That is our understanding. That is not a guarantee. All right. As much as I'd love to give you a guarantee, that's not a guarantee, but that is how we understand it to be at the moment. We're going to bring a brand registration expert in at the beginning of January. We're going to talk about that. But that's what you should need to. You will need a separate UK and EU brand registration. All right. And that's where you're going to need to go. Label compliance. Here's another great one. Your labels need to be compliant with both UK and EU regulations. Now, to start with, the regulations will be exactly the same. All right. That's the key thing to say. The EU at the moment, your product should be compliant with the EU regulations. There are some differences. There are some registrations in different countries, like the Italian Food Ministry, and there's a few other little anomalies. But really, those regulations are going to change. To start with, the regulations will stay the same. Your labels will still be compliant, but you need to be aware that they are going to change. All right, and I think that's really, really important to say. And I'm just cracking through. I know we've been going for a while now, so stick with me, bear with me. I know we've been going a while. So the last thing to say is responsible person. Virtually every single product that sells in Europe, including the UK, needs a responsible person. Someone who is responsible for that product in the country. Every single product sold needs a UK address on it, sold in UK, and a European address on it, sold in Europe. That's what's needed. Okay, that is fact. That is getting more and more stringent and more strict. If you need a responsible person, there are other products, cosmetics, medical devices. Some of those we can't do, but we can support you with that. So, but the key thing to say is, if you have a product that's made outside the EU and brought in, 99% of our sellers probably do that, then you need an address in the UK and Europe on your products. Like, out of all the serious things that you need to cover in all of this, this isn't the most important, but you need this. Amazon will start kicking you off for some of this, all right, if you're not careful. So you need a responsible person. There we go. Okay. I know that I've just gone bosh, and I do apologize, but I've tried to keep that at pace and give you as much information as I can. So let's start getting the questions coming in, and I will try and answer as many of those questions as I possibly can. Now, typically it's okay. I was going to say the mouse has gone again, but it's okay. I can still scroll. So there's the good news. Let's go back. Okay. So I've got lots of yeses. Let's get to the very first question. Okay, shipping from the USA directly to the customer. We need VAT for the EU. Okay, good news. If you are shipping from the US into the UK or into Europe, you don't need to be VAT registered at all. The downside is it's crap for the customer, in all honesty, all right? Because what happens is the customer receives the product, and then they get a phone call to say you owe this for import VAT and this for VAT. No customer wants that, okay? So we don't really advise that, but I do understand why you do it. It's a good starting point, and actually, it's a good stopgap, because if all of a sudden you go, well, I haven't got any stock in Europe and I ain't got time to get it there, but you've got stock in the US, well, you could send that from the US directly into Germany or wherever. You're still going to pay customs duties and VAT. It might be cheaper VAT sending it from the US to the downside is you've still got to pay import duty and customs. So it's cheaper to send it from the UK as it is somewhere else. So hopefully that answers that question. Right. Okay. If you have only Italy, is that the only place you can sell? No, you can sell in Europe because you've got an Italian VAT number. So I'm presuming that you have an Italian VAT number. If you have an Italian VAT number, you can sell in Europe. In fact, you can still sell in the UK. You'll just have to pay customs and duties to get it there. All right. We would advise in that case to be UK VAT registered to make sure you've got that covered. All right. If we have FBA in the UK, can customers from Europe purchase it from the UK? They can, but they're going to have to pay import VAT and import duty. Like the email I read out, basically there's going to be additional charges. The chances of people paying for that is slim. It's pretty pants. You're going to need a facility, whether it's FBA in Europe or whether that's a facility in Netherlands, is going to decide. But that's what you're going to need. You're basically going to need that. You're going to need a VAT number in Europe. It's just not cost effective to do that. Okay, if we don't have VAT IORI in Europe yet, but have our products in the UK warehouses, could we apply for Italy VAT today and start shipping stock from UK to Italy before the cutoff? Yes. So you'll need to get a VAT EORI number now. You could also, and this may be a better option, is apply for a Netherlands VAT number, because we have a facility in the Netherlands right now, which means you could basically ship your products to our Netherlands warehouse today. We can apply for VAT. Because you're applying for VAT in the Netherlands, you'll be able to get your stock to the warehouse in Netherlands. We won't be able to fulfill that until your VAT number's there, but you do have that option. And that is probably, in all honesty, a better option. But that's your decision to make. But the answer is yes, you can do that. Who pays the import VAT, the customer or the seller? The seller does. So the chances are basically the cost of the product has just significantly increased for the buyer. So, sorry, the buyer buys that. Sorry, I misread that, Hershey. I apologize. Who pays the import VAT, customer or seller? The customer pays for it when they receive the goods. Now, there may be an option to do a point where you can take that as the seller. So you will be able to do that, but the customer pays for it, and the customer won't want to pay for it. All right. So basically, no one will buy your stuff. Besides for that, are there any other taxes that will be taxed, e.g. income tax? Well, it depends on where you are registered. Now, Hershey, if I recall, you're based in the UK. You have VAT registration here in the UK. If you do German VAT, Netherlands VAT, wherever, Italy VAT, you won't have to pay income tax. You'll just have to pay sales VAT and do a VAT return to those governments. All right. Carlos, what if I have my brand and names registered in the US? Doesn't count. You need to be brand registered in the EU and the UK post-January. We understand that if you have that in Europe, you will get those grandfather rights, but it'll be too late to do that now. You'll have to register in both Europe and the UK. Should we get an exterminator for the mouse? Yes, I think we should. I'm presuming you mean my mouse, Hershey. Yeah, I have no idea whether it's the cursor, actually. It's the cursor that's disappeared. I'm still making it work, so that's the important. Keep on going. In face of difficulty, it'll all be fine. Okay. Leslie, responsible person in the UK. You said that you guys can't provide this for cosmetic products. This includes skincare products. Okay, so it depends on a number of factors. It depends on the product information file. It depends on what the cosmetic is. It depends on how that is registered. So the honest answer is, Leslie, just contact us and we'll be able to tell you whether we can do it or not. There are some we can do this, some we can't. It's all basically dependent on you. The responsible person has to be a person who's responsible for makeup, for cosmetics, for medical devices. It's for medical devices. So as long as we can get that product information file fact checked, we can do it. That's basically where we are with the cosmetic. But you need a product information file. If you don't have a product information file, then we'll need to get that done for you. Right, next one, Tim. If I'm VAT registered in the UK now and send only to UK warehouse, do I need to do anything else? Continue selling only in the UK? No, Tim, you're absolutely fine. If you only want to sell in the UK, you're absolutely fine. You only need to be VAT registered in the UK. No problems at all. And actually, that's a really good point. Actually, a lot of our sellers that when, we work with thousands of sellers, most of which are based outside the EU, most of which are US based. And when I look at the VAT return data across everyone, what you can see is the UK is much, much higher. I know that I know that UK and Germany should be about the same. You might find that UK is higher with some clients, Germany's higher with others. It varies. But if you're not selling the same in Germany, give or take, as the UK, then you're missing out. I fundamentally mean that. And France, Italy, Spain, with those, and Netherlands make up the other third. If you think of it as thirds, third UK, third Germany, third other countries. All right. That's where your split, your income revenue split should roughly be. All right. If you're not doing that, then I'm going to do a small plug. We are offering account health checks for free. So we could do an account health check and tell you what you need to do to improve your listings, your Amazon account in those countries. Contact us about the free account health check. Anyway, I divert slightly. I apologize. Okay. hopefully, Tim, that answers that. What is the pricing to get a VAT number? So it depends on which country you're doing that in. It varies per country. They're all different. Get in touch with the guys tomorrow and they'll do that. What does it cost to cease a VAT number? Again, depending on which country, is going to be different. So there's going to be some differences. How to apply for Netherlands VAT? Speak to the team. I'm going to give you the details in a minute. The guys will be able to set that up for you. How long does it take to get a Netherlands VAT number? About 20 to 30 days. But the great thing with the VAT number in Netherlands is if we do that, then you can still send your products to our warehouse in Netherlands. The advantage of the Netherlands warehouse, while we're on that subject, is that if you look at a Google map and look at the Netherlands, you'll see nothing but warehouses. Netherlands is the logistics entry into Europe. And I talked about this in a webinar the other day. Apologies for those that already heard this story. But when I was looking for a warehouse in the Netherlands, I was driving past this warehouse and thought, blimey, that's a whopper. Anyway, 5 minutes later, no word of a lie, 5 minutes later, I was still driving past this warehouse. All right. It was at least a mile long and it was at least half a mile wide. And it was Primark. So if you know Primark, it's a massive brand here in Europe. I mean, I've never seen anything like it in all my life. It must have been 1 million square foot, at least. Obviously, that's our goal. But what I'm getting to is that everyone uses Netherlands for the gateway into Europe. And the reason for that is that you can apply to basically have your import VAT moved to there's someone else waiting for team, if you can let them in. You can basically defer your import VAT. So you ship your stuff into the Netherlands. When you ship your stuff into the Netherlands, there's no import VAT. You can defer that to your VAT return. Now, I don't know about you, but from a cash flow point of view, on products you've not sold yet, I bet you'd like to wait a month or 3 months to do that. So, how much is that worth to you? Well, for most of our sellers, deferring their VAT payment is worth quite a lot to improve their cash flow. So that works really, really well. Okay, so hopefully that answers that. Bob, who wins today, Arsenal or Southampton? Well, I'm a little bit torn there. I am an Arsenal fan. I grew up opposite the Arsenal stadium pretty much. Well, I say my grandparents, my mum did. My grandparents lived opposite the Arsenal stadium. So I spent my weekends watching people walk to the stadium. This is the old stadium, not the new stadium. And so I'm a bit of an Arsenal fan, but I now live near Southampton. My sons are Southampton fans. So does that sit on the fence for you enough? Sorry, Bob. But basically, Arsenal should win that. But I think Southampton will. Anyway, Tim, yeah, good question, Bob. More curious about Liverpool or Tottenham. Yeah, Tottenham I don't talk about. I just told you I'm an Arsenal fan. But jokes aside, anyway, we're talking about football. I'm moving on. Next one. If we apply for Netherlands VAT and send inventory before the end of the year, can we start selling in Europe when we get the VAT? Yes, you can. No problems whatsoever. You can start selling and get that happening once the VAT registration comes through. Absolutely clear. Really straightforward, really easy. So look, guys, keep on putting the questions in. There's a huge amount there. The key thing is, here's what if I was in your position today, here's what I would do. I would be registering for VAT in the Netherlands. I'd be shipping products to the Netherlands. That is the very least I would be doing tomorrow morning. If you need a VAT number in Europe tomorrow and you need to get products into Europe tomorrow, let's say you want to get products into FBA and you're on the Pan EU program, then you need to get that. You need to do Italy. All right. If you're not sure what you want to do, you don't need to worry about getting inventory. Then there's lots of different options. But the key thing is you need to get in. Oh no, there we go. So the key thing is you need to get in contact, and I'm actually going to change this contact form, if you would like, to a couple of different emails. If you need help tomorrow, and I suspect that most of you do, you need to email sales@globalecomexperts.com. All right. That's what you need to do. sales@globalecomexperts.com. If you've got questions about any of this, then send them to me, Andy@globalecomexperts.com. The problem you're going to have is I've got about 1 million emails that I need to get back to. I won't lie to you. And I need to try and bash those out tonight. I will diverge those to the team and just put those into different members of the team. And they've all got a 24-hour time frame to get back to you. All right. So if you've got urgent things, do that. If it's super urgent, phone and speak to us. There's the phone number. Phone, speak to us. On the bottom of our emails, if you're based in the States, there's a US phone number and you can get that and you can do that. Another question, some other questions coming in. Can you get Italy VAT, but then send inventory to the Netherlands? No, not really. Without, you need to be applying for Netherlands VAT. All right. Will you be sending these slides after? Yes, we will. No problems at all. Look, guys, I know I've gone on probably longer than I anticipated, longer than you were expecting. I apologize. Hopefully this has been super useful. I think the key thing is, 1, you need VAT in Europe. 2, you need a warehouse in Europe. You need those 2 things. You need them sorted. You need them done tomorrow. You need to get in contact with us and you need to make it happen. We're here. We're going to support you. We're going to look after you. We're going to make sure that everything's done. We're going to hold your hand and we're going to make sure that you're covered and looked after. That's our jobs. That's what we're going to do. You don't need to worry. We've got you and we're here to serve you. We're here to successfully expand you into Europe. And that's what we do. So that's UK and Europe. I'm going to have to stop saying that, aren't I? So that's where we are. Thank you very much for your time. I value it. I appreciate it. I know your time's valuable and hopefully we've given you all that information. I'm hoping I haven't confused you too much, but please get in contact with us and we're here to support you, serve you and make sure that we've got you covered. Thank you very much. Stay safe, look after yourselves and we will see you very, very soon.